All right, 8:30. We are live. I'm a little bit late. Sorry, guys. I was on the phone. We were talking. We were discussing. We were scheming. Oh, wait. Did I forget? I forgot to delete the... Let me see. Let me take out the thing. Info display off. Boom. We should have no... Okay, there we go. How is everyone doing tonight? What are you guys doing? What's in the news? What have you guys heard? What do you guys want to talk about? What is happening? Where's everyone here from? There's 73 with us already. How are we doing? Who has the biggest battery bank? Okay, let's see. All right, William is in the house. Anyone seen Crimper? My Crimper? Crimp Daddy's looking for his Crimper. I'm ready to talk about batteries. I want to build a battery back for my solar panel. I'm scared of the dark. Yeah. Oh, we have some people from Russia speaking Russian. Hopefully you guys can hear me, right? Can you guys hear me? Evening. Hi, Miss Missouri. It's in the house. And full suspension. Do I know the cathode chemistry on your oh, there we go. Not exactly. So the spec sheet doesn't specify. It's a nickel. It's an MNC battery, but not as much as we would like to know. But the spec sheet does specify that at full depth of discharge, it's guaranteed to deliver greater than 300 cycles, which is good, right? 300 cycles, and of course, I mean, Chinese, stuff all the time they claim stuff, right? And a lot of the times it's fake, right? It's stuff that you can't. But because the spec sheet has delivered on every other thing, right? So everything else in the spec sheet seems legit because I tested it. Then we have no reason to believe that the cycle life is not going to be what is specified there, right? So greater than 300 cycles, add full depth of discharge, which, by the way, guys, if you're building a DIY Powerwall, and most of us are like doing it smart, and we're not doing full depth of discharge, right? We're not going all the way from 4.2 all the way to 2.75, then that highly increases, right? If you do like, what is it? I mean, if you do like 50% depth of discharge, it's some crazy amount. It goes from like 300 cycles to like 3,000 cycles, right? So that whole like thing with the LiFePO4, it's only applicable when you're talking about full depth discharge. All you have to do is just not use the battery, from fully charged, fully discharged. You just make your cycles smaller, and then most of the time that's just what happens. Like, if you design your systems, they're not going to be cycling. I mean, imagine if we think using used batteries is a good idea. Why wouldn't it be a good idea to use new cells, right? Even if they're cheaper, even if they're like less quality, like how is like a less quality Chinese? Well, okay, whatever. I mean, I actually done that argument before, right? Where I'm like, I'd rather get a known used battery at the end of its life than some like what is it, mystery cell from China, right? Well, that's true. That's still the truth. But these batteries are not mystery cells from China. These, so we have direct access to the manufacturer. My partners have been to the factory. There have been testing. So actually, there is a cell that they've been testing, and it's around 150 cycles, and it's still above 2,600 milliamp power. So there hasn't been a huge amount of drop, like Tom was saying that our cell was about. By the way, Tom is a good guy, but I think he feels threatened. I mean, I think he's like, oh man, like if these guys are selling a bunch of used cells, then they're not going to be buying my used cells. And I mean, I would be worried too. If my whole business was around selling used cells, and then someone is like, hey, the best cells these days are no longer the used cells, they're the new cells. Just think about this. Here is my argument for that, right? Oh, by the way, just in case someone within my viewing here, there's 123 of you guys, doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I announced that we're doing. I partner up with someone that's gonna carry my boards, right? But then, when we were discussing this thing, we're like, well, the best way to offer these boards is to actually offer, because we're like, these boards are not really for you guys, right? You guys are hardcore. You guys are like building power walls. You guys are like soldering stuff, and you guys have bought, spot welders and all that stuff. These runs are for like the general population. This is for like the guy that was like, you know what? I need a battery in my cabin. Where can I just buy one? Oh, you can't. Okay, where do I buy the kit so that you can just like slap it together? Oh, there it is. There's the kit. Oh, can you sell me the batteries? Why do I have to go get the battery somewhere else, right? So that's the reason why the battery thing, right? But then we tested a bunch of them, and again, like if you guys haven't seen the last videos that I made, I tested 5 different cells, and they're very compelling. They're legit. So we're actually going to offer those cells, all of those cells, with our kits, right? But then there was one that stood out because it was, it was affordable. It's affordable, and then it met like all the spec sheets. At the beginning, when I started doing that video, we didn't have the spec sheet. The spec sheet came out towards the end, and so that's why I decided to do a group buy of these, because I think it's going to be a great, way to, start getting all these batteries, to order a big order and stuff, and get it moving and building like a large stuff, and and I've been testing it for like weeks now. So then I decided to do the group buy, but then Tom today came up with some article that he posted everywhere, and literally everywhere, like 20 different places on Facebook, where he's hinting that this cell is not gonna last because it's a Chinese cell. And it's like, it's kind of unfair, because like you can't paint all Chinese cells with a broad stroke and say like they're all trash. That is not true. Half of the batteries Tom sells are Chinese, by the way. So he's kind of being disingenuous there. And then he doesn't have any proof. Like, he doesn't know anything about our cells. I mean, we don't even know the exact composition of the cathode. I mean, we know the basic chemistry, but we don't know, right? He doesn't know that. He has no access. I haven't shared with him what the thing is. He never told me he was gonna, do the thing. He obviously was trying to sabotage our group buy. Now he says he didn't, that he's been writing that article for months or weeks. I don't know. He said weeks, I think, right? But come on, like who are we messing? Like who are we talking about here? He totally was trying to sabotage that. So that's why. That's the reason why I'm talking about this, right? Because people are like, oh well, is your Chinese battery like one of the ones that he's talking about? And so no, I believe it's not, because it's been testing well. It's got, it's very little degradation after 150 cycles, from what he's saying in that articles and stuff. And by the way, his proof, well, not his proof, his sources is like, oh, I read an article and I talked to Chinese guy once. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what his basis is to write this article now, right? It's like, I don't know. I mean, am I the only one here that it deals with enough batteries and still, admits that he's not like some, that I'm not an expert? Everybody else seems to be an expert. Like those dudes on the other group who 2 years ago looked at my designs and my ideas, and they're like, oh, those are great ideas. Let me build a thing. Now they build one, and now they're the experts because they built one, and now they're looking at me like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even have a power. I'm like, what are you talking about? I built 10 different ones, and then they're down. Like, I'm always looking for the next thing, for the best way to do them. They're like married to that one way, that one design, that one thing, and anything that deviates from that, now it's the devil. It's like, that's not cool, And so Tom is the same way. You gotta, I love Tom. We're friendly. We have been partners. We've been selling batteries for a long time, but those are not the best batteries. I'm sorry. Like, by the time you get a bunch of like, modem packs, and then you crack them open, and then you clean them, and then you test them, time is money. And you end up paying more than if you just bought new cells, right? So it's great for our community, because at one point, a year ago, there was not a lot of batteries, new cells available to us. So they were the best thing because that was the only thing that we had. But now moving forward, you know, for that guy that doesn't want to buy a bunch of equipment and doesn't want to sit there, you know, like whoever doesn't want to buy 20, you know, Lidocala like chargers so that he can test for a couple months and like, you know what I mean? Like that guy doesn't have time to be sitting around and testing batteries and cleaning them and, you know, grinding the ends because they have all the little things on there, right? It's like, for my project, they're not the best cells. And since I believe a lot of you guys want to actually make this project yours too, then they're not the best cells for you. And you know, I'm sorry. That's just the kind of the way it is, right? And he has a conflict of interest. You know, like he shouldn't be the guy that's saying used cells are not good, because then you know you're gonna look at him like, yeah, you're just trying to sell me the used cells, right? And I wish he hadn't done that, because you can pick through his argument. You know, you could just say like, wait, you're the car sales guy that telling me that this is the best brand of car. Like, are you gonna believe that guy, or are you gonna believe someone else? You know what I mean? Like, so I just hope that, yeah, I hope that he had more, you know, I don't know, more self-aware, like. And then not only that, he's trying to sabotage my thing. Like, I'm his partner. That's the part that I don't like, right? So like, if I'm his partner and I'm not competing with him because he's not selling new cells, right? Then he comes out with this thing and he's trying to sabotage, and then he doesn't fess up to it. He's like, "Nah, man, I wasn't trying to do it." I'm like, I don't know. I don't believe him. What do you guys think? Do you believe when he says he wasn't actively trying to sabotage? By the way, I was talking to him last night, and he was, you know, sharing his concerns. You know, he's saying that my reputation was on the line and I don't know what. And then this morning, then he uploads that thing. It's like, I don't know. Did he then wrote that little article and then he like did the thing? I don't know. Let's see. What do you guys think? Just so I can understand, you're talking about the cells you're partnering with having 100% depth of discharge for 200 cycles. That is standard in the field. As you know, I have Tesla cells. What is theirs? Well, they never really released it, right? But I think, yeah, if we were to check like any other, the Samsung 26Fs, for example, you're going to see about 300 cycles, right? Now, it could be argued that those are brand name cells, and so the data sheet, so the actual life of that cell is closer to the data sheet, right? That's true, typically, right? But we found a cell that it abides by the rest of the spec sheet. We looked at the spec sheet, says you can push, you know, X amount of power out at a certain temperature, you know, that it holds a certain amount of capacity when you load it at different load and stuff. And I checked all that. I spent quite a bit of time in the last couple of weeks testing these cells, and they all checked out. So do we have a legitimate concern to think that the cycle life, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be accurate? I mean, there's a percentage, right? Like it's possible, but it's also possible that it's going to be, because it seems to be a quality product, Chinese product, right? That it's a no name, it's an OEM cell, they sell it. Who knows what products is going? It's probably, they make a lot of them, so it's not like some obscure thing, right? It's just a no name cell. It doesn't have a name, and then my partners decided to name it, you know, Revolt or whatever, and they put that website, you know, and so that's the branding. It's not my branding. I'm a partner in the branding, right? Like my job is to kind of like help them test it, and you know, because I wanted that. I'm like, I want to sell that I can package with my PCBs as my system. That's the way this thing is gonna work. You guys all want to build battery. You don't want to be like testing batteries for months, do you? I mean, some of you guys do. Like, I'm one of them. But I also understand that there's a huge market, and I can have the most impact in that market in helping. Like, there's a huge problem in California and everywhere, I think, where all these solar panels are pushing a bunch of power during the day, and it's causing a bunch of problems in the grid, right? And so the way to stabilize the grid is to actually have batteries everywhere. And, you know, like putting a bunch of batteries together with tape and soldering the thing, like that is not the way that we are going to win this battle. We're not going to get those batteries approved by whoever needs to approve them so that they can be legit. battery installation so they can be powering your homes and they can be stabilizing the grid and they can be saving you money. The only way is to move to this new system where anyone can do it, but it looks legit and it's tested. Like that's the reason I haven't finished my PCB videos either. It's just there's a lot of testing that has to happen. You know what I mean? Like what happens when you put a board with cells that are 20% state of charge, and then one that's like at 90% state of charge. Does it blow up? Does it blow all the fuses? Does it overheat the traces? I mean, what happens? So you got to do it. You just got to do the thing. You got to blow a bunch of boards and a bunch of fuses in different configurations. What happens when you short them out like this? What happened? How hot does it get when you're pushing, 20 amps through, aluminum standoffs as opposed to brass standoffs? You know what I mean? Like everybody's got ideas and everybody's got opinions on it, but no one's testing it, right? So I'm the one that's kind of stuck testing it, and that's okay. That's my job. That's what I signed up for. But eventually, what I don't like is that people are just kind of going against me. You know what I mean? Like, and not being 100% genuine. Like he's attacking these cells not because he's genuinely. I mean, I don't know. You can question his thing because he's building a whole business around selling you cells. And what happens when you don't need those cells anymore? Then he's got to find a new business, right? I'm not tied to that business. I'm not even selling you the boards. It's an open source. You can download the file. In fact, there's been thousands. There's been, from what I estimate, there's been like more than 2,000 of these boards already printed and already being populated with cells right now, right? This thing is gonna be big, and I'm not tied to it. I'm like, I don't care where you get the cells. It's just I want to really make it easy for you guys to do it, and not just you guys, but everybody else down the line. Let's see here what you guys are saying. Christopher Grady, thank you for the $5, Christopher. Well, I enjoy processing batteries, and honestly, if they perform when you get them after being abused, they're probably good. Yes. But here's the thing. If you are trusting in an old degraded cell, all right, why would you say that a good quality one that tests at least good or decent new cell would be worse or would not be good enough? You know what I mean? Like, I think at the very least, it's the same thing. And we're paying about the same amount, right? I mean, yeah, you can get the used cells for less, but again, time and money, all the time that you're spending processing those batteries adds up. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you're paying more than if you were to buy new cells. Christopher Grady, another one. Thank you for $20. I show you the drone Friday. Oh, you're the one with the drone. Yes. The further you are from the lowest distance to the highest charge. The further you are from the lowest discharge. Oh, yeah. To the highest charge, the longer the life, 15 to 20 years. Tom does not know the source of all of his cells either, so he can't guarantee. Yeah. There's a bit, half of the cells he's selling, they're Chinese, and he's not going to admit to that because, or maybe he is, if you press him on it. I never have because I don't have an agenda to push to discredit his cells. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my job. My job is to help him, sell them. It's to help him find a use for them. That was my job. But the problem is that I don't make enough money selling those batteries, right? Man, that thing. The chat got stuck, so I had to reopen it. Let's see, Papa chat. Yeah, so the problem is that he's always sold out. It takes him so long to process those batteries that he's always sold out, and it just sucks because I wish I could push. I wish it wouldn't have to be his batteries or the other batteries. In fact, I was trying to not make it like that. It wasn't until he was like, he's trying to sabotage my thing. Dying every day to see your video on those Tesla modules. Oh, the Tesla, yeah. Oh my God, those are gonna be good. That's gonna be good because those, those are legit. Those are legit cells, and they fit in those boxes perfectly in those boxes. So I'm gonna show you how to put them in boxes No one else seems to be doing that for some reason. Nobody wants to like have. Everybody wants to show up their batteries. Like, I want to see them right there, see the welds and exposed cables and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool until something drops on top of it and damages your cells or shorts out the whole thing or whatever. Let's see. Wayne Hogue says Facebook is evil and brings out the evil in others. Well, I don't know if it's Facebook. I mean, I think it's just a tool. There's a lot of good interactions happening over there. Like, people are building a lot of stuff, right? That picture, I don't know if you guys saw that picture that I posted today as a thumbnail here. Someone just built a big, almost bigger than mine, I think. And it seems like they have it up and running. That's gonna be cool. All are going up in price. If you base on JU calculations, only 65% are good. And from those, you average 1900 milliamp hours. I think that now is the same as buy the $130 for 100 LG 2200. Am I correct? I don't understand that question. Sorry. Maybe rephrase it so I can understand it. Let's see. What else are we saying here? Pumping China cells seems shady. Nope. We've been doing that forever. Like, look, half of the cells... People think that all Samsung cells are... wait, so those are... What, Samsung is what? Korean? Is Samsung Korean? Or Japanese? I don't know. Everybody thinks they're coming out of Korea and Japan. That's not true. They all have manufactured in China. Half your cells are from China already. So to say that China can't make a good product is just not entirely correctly, right? It's kind of disingenuous. Like, you have to admit that there's a lot of Chinese stuff. Half of the stuff you're using is from China, man. Come on. I don't matter, bro. People are people. Business is business. New West Coast looking for the batteries. Nice. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they don't understand. They're stuck. See, like, everyone is got... You have to look at people's, like, motivations, right? I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm live. You're going to have to wait. Bruce has got that cone of shame thing. Yeah, you have to look at the motivations. Like, everybody's like setting up routes. Like he is putting all his eggs in that little basket, right? Like, he's digging in. He's building a whole business out of these cells. So, I mean, he's got to protect it. Right? You got to protect it the way you want. The same thing with those other dudes. They build a Powerwall, and then now I come up with a new way to build a Powerwall, and then all of a sudden they're criticizing me, and I don't know what I'm talking about and stuff. Because they're invested in that design. They chose it and they made it their own. Now they're invested. So I'm the bad guy. Now when I'm moving forward, I'm like, oh, well, that was just one way to do it. Now let's look for a better way and a quicker way and a simpler way. And so it's kind of like the natural progression of things. People like me. People are going to, enjoy the ideas and the things, when they're going to want to build their thing. And then after I move on to the next thing, and I will move on to the next thing because that's what I do. I'm constantly evolving and, getting things ready. Bruce, stop. Look at guys. Bruce is just like, looking at me rather. Why are you staring at me? He's staring me down. All right, he moved. There we go. You guys scared him. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. He didn't like the camera. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Like, it's gonna be a thing. All right, let's see. What else are we talking about? Ooh. Someone wants to see the dog show? There we go. Aloha. Put in my Revolt order for 100 cells. Can't wait. Woo! There we go. And of course, look, by the way, eventually I will show you more info where I plan to go to the factory and the whole thing and check them out and talk and shake their hand, and because it is my reputation. I mean, you guys trust me, and I'm trying not to let you guys down. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that I have to protect. This is the only way why this thing works. Like, would you guys be buying Chinese cells from anybody else? Why? You can go get dollar Chinese cells anywhere, and that's what like the critics are saying. It's like, why is he selling these batteries? Expensive. There you can, and I was like, yes, but you're taking a huge risk. I mean, it's a huge risk. Like, who do you trust? You don't know who to trust. Like, it's known that they are deceitful, right? The China market is just deceitful. You get one good one right now, and then next time you order a thing, it's like completely different. So you can't trust, people that are like middlemen, right? Because then they disappear. They're just like, okay, I just want to make that one sale. After that, I'm done. Moving on to the next thing. But that's not what's happening here. Like, we actually, have a direct contact with the manufacturing of these cells, and if anything goes wrong, the day that something goes wrong, then we're in contact with them, and then we're like, hey, you gotta fix it, or we stop buying your batteries. We'll get from somewhere else. Like, you lose the business. And hopefully, if it's a compelling enough business for them, then they'll be like, okay, let's not screw these guys over. What do you think about Chevy Volt or Tesla module Powerwall at 48 volts, something around 40 kilowatt hours for powering at home, considering both? Because I don't have time to build from scratch. You're exactly the person that our system is designed for. Well, actually, there's levels, right? You might actually be above the thing. Yeah, I think those are great. Like, if I were to speculate where the market is going to be, at least these are little market here. Yeah, the modem cells are, there's just too much work. Hey guys. Hey. Oh my God. The show has started. Hey. Stay quiet, boys. Come on. I'm live. So that's what's going to happen, right? And so then the next big market is going to be the EV batteries, because there's a ton of those. Like the laptop thing is dead. No one's making laptops with 18650s. And so the modems is the same thing. They're probably going to change. So the car modules are going to be it. So yeah, I actually have planned to use those in a battery Powerwall thing, and then the ones on the bottom two are the other ones, which are, by the way, are more affordable. They're like around 130 a kilowatt hour. Rocket, no, don't play rough with that guy. Come on. So I have videos coming up with those two. I think that is a way, and I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, I don't, it's like, we don't all want to just like start making battery from scratch, you know what I mean? Okay. So it's a minimum. Oh, so Mark Sullivan says how many cycles on Revolt batteries if limited to 80%? Oh, so usually if it's limited to 80% depth of discharge, I think it goes up to like, oh man, what was it? We'll have to look at those numbers that usually people like, that is typical for cells, but it's like, if it's like no less than 300 at full depth of discharge, like 80% would be like, I don't know, like, I want to say like 800 or 900, something like that, right? And then at 50%, it's like some crazy amount. Like on Teslas, we're like 10,000 or some crazy amount, right? So yeah, it's definitely gonna be up there, like probably near to like 1,000 cycles. If you use them like that. So remember, in a Powerwall setup, usually we're not gonna push cells very hard, right? Like the way that our boards are designed, they're not gonna want more than a 1C, right? But I think typically, like if you have a big battery, you're gonna be like discharge. If it's gonna last all day, you're gonna be a 1/12 of 1C, right? So 1C is 1 hour, right? So, but if you're using your battery to like the last 12 hours or 24 hours, then it's going to be 1/12 of that. So the batteries are going to be trickle charge and trickle discharge at a normal usage, right? So in those settings, these batteries are going to last forever. They're going to just, because you're like going to go really easy on them and stuff. Okay, let's see. Which you would get some LiPo4 batteries for the Powerwall PCB deal. I'm a fan of the cycle life and the safety. The problem with LiPo4 is that it's just not very common. It's more expensive because there's less of it being used, less of it being manufactured, and so especially like in 18650 cells, right? I have a few of them, but look, out of all the cells that I have, yeah. Okay, so in this room right now, I have thousands of cells, right? And I know some of you guys will say I'm crazy for storing so many cells in my house. Thousands of them. Out of all those, I only have a handful of lithium iron phosphate in 18650 because they're just so rare. They're just not very common. And then that's not good. See, I wouldn't buy a cell in China that is not mass produced because then the quality, right? The quality is gonna go down because not everything's gonna be automated. You're gonna like have people roll up the thing. I don't know, So that's why I don't like the LiPo4. I mean, if you're doing the big, so I have experience with the Winston, right? The big packs that Tom is about getting ready to sell any day now. He said that 2 weeks, that in a week from then it was going to be available, but here we are and it's not available yet, right? And he was cycling. Maybe he's having trouble cycling such big batteries. Those were kind of problematic because they were like so different from each other, right? And like the quality between one and the other one was so different. They were just like, one was like huge, the other one was like really small. Some of them have like different rates of like self-discharge because they're like low volume. They're not like 18650s where there's like millions of them being made. So here we go. Let's see what we're talking about. If you really want him to see, put a donation to your question. Yeah, guys, sorry. There's just so much questions. I just gotta skim through them and then you guys start talking amongst yourselves. That makes it even harder because then I start reading a question. I'm like, oh, that's not for me. It doesn't make sense. Nobody understood. I just got confused and I confused yourselves. Is he even reading my question? No, sorry, Brian. What is your question? Post it again. Can we sell the boards? Now that you have some selling them, will it be an issue if I put them on my shop? No, it's an open source project. Like you can do whatever you want. You can sell them, you can change them, modify them, use them. It's up there. Like I don't own the design. I just it's a weird thing, right? It's like my thing is not to make money out of those. Like if my thing was to like make it easy. My thing was really to help Javier build battery packs for all those batteries that Tom donated to him so he can help people in Puerto Rico. Now, Javier didn't like them. Javier felt that somehow it wasn't a great thing. He was kind of angry at me because I made that. But instead of like supporting that project, then he decided to make his own. And then he was like, whoa, not only am I making your own and competing with you, but this is better than yours. Yours is crap, I mean, he didn't say crap, but, this is going to be so much better. So I was like, oh, screw you. I'm like, I did this to help you. And you're like, okay, whatever. So he's doing his own thing. I'm sure he's good. I haven't really paid too much attention to it, but I'm sure Some people are going to do it and buy it and use it. There's no reason why they can't be more than one system. Like him, it was this competition for him, and I'm like, dude, I'm the guy that helped you. You know what I mean? Like, why am I arguing with you? Why do I have to convince you about a thing? I'm trying to do something good for you. And so, with him, it's a little bit different. I think he is like, he doesn't want you to use it and sell it and do all that. I'm like, who cares? Put it out there. It's for you guys. It's for him. He didn't want to use it, then it's for the rest of you guys. You guys can all use them. Do whatever you want with them. Let's see. Fellas, just let him, his thing, learn something. I need 200 cells, I think, to support my 5,000 solar panel system. Does that sound about correct? No, wait, 5,000 solar system? I mean, 200 cells is not much. If you get the 26Fs or little Chinese ones, those are 10 watt hours per cell. So 200 cells, well, what is that? Oh, I'm gonna have to take my thing, because you guys know I suck at math. How many did you say? 200? Yeah, so that's 2 kilowatt. I mean, it depends. Can you use 2 kilowatt hours? What are you gonna use 2 kilowatt hours for? Like, that's just to like help, so you can stay below like a peak, right? When it's expensive, like if you go above a certain level. So that's what usually small power walls are good for, is to prevent your energy consumption to go above a certain level, right? Let's say that you can't go above 10 kilowatt hour or 10 kilowatts, right? And when your AC comes on, like you jump to 12 kilowatts, right? So that time that your AC is on, then you're being charged way more. Your rate goes from, let's say, 15 cents to 45 cents or something, So you're like, oh my God, I'm paying. And so at the end of the month, you're like, those peaks are costing you like 60% of your bill are just those tiny peaks. So then you use a Powerwall to just shave that. Whenever like it triggers that it gets a certain point, then your little battery starts pushing powers to bring that level down below, hopefully below that threshold. And then when that load ends, then the battery turns off and it charges itself again, right? So it's just like a little cushion. It's like a little buffer. So that's what like a 2 kilowatt hour Powerwall would be useful for. But you gotta have that billing cycle thing to be able to use it, Otherwise, you need a much bigger battery pack for your house if you're doing like off-grid thing or whatever. Let's see. Christopher Grady. Wow, Christopher. I have a commercial equipment that can run 8 of your new cells through several hundred or thousand cycles. I think I already tested your Brando. What? Help me out here. Because that was like, I'm going to order a thing, put them in there. We have one that is being cycled, and it's like around 150 cycles, right? But yeah, that's the big question. Cycling takes a long time, and no one's been cycling all these tests, all these used cells. That's the biggest question I get. If we build these Tesla or these Powerwalls out of used cells, how long is it gonna last? I'm like, I don't know. I always have to tell people, like, I don't know. Like, nobody's done the test. Nobody's had a DIY Powerwall for 10 years so that I can say, well, that his lasted 10 years. Now we have information that leads us to believe that they're gonna last forever, even at a degraded state, with all kinds of batteries, all brands and all, like all that stuff, right? And that's not the reason why I'm promoting like new cells, really. That's not because it's a gain of longevity. It's just because ease of build. That is my thing. That like I want to help people, the most amount of people, get into this thing before it becomes a thing. Like in 2-3 years, we're not gonna be building these. They're just gonna be normal. You're gonna go to the store. It's gonna come with like new houses. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit optimistic. Maybe it's not gonna be that quick or whatever. But yeah, definitely. This is only a temporary thing. This is only cool now. In a few years, it's just gonna be normal. Every house is gonna have a battery. It's gonna be easier to get one. You're gonna order one on Amazon. You're gonna order one at, Home Depot and stuff. And you're gonna be like, why am I gonna build some dumb battery, right? So I'm trying to kind of do this, help people build the batteries easier so that we can get there quicker, But Christopher, yeah, let me know if I can send you some batteries and then we can run some cycles through them. If you can, man, that would be great if you can help me with that. Let's see. Oh, Tequila. Pablo, yes, I saw the tequila thing. It would be great if I can get one and put it up there. That's all tequila. Let me see. Yeah, it's mostly tequila. Yeah, with the exception of one rum and some other junk. There's like 2 bottles that are not tequila. Everything else is tequila right there. Some cool stuff too. Some like that one right there. There's only like 2,000 bottles a year that are made. So that's like, I don't know, like a $200 tequila or whatever. It's long gone. I drank it. Let's see. Are those ukulele? No, no, man, come on. Those are guitars. No ukulele. Question, BMS. How about crowdfunding a good BMS with Bluetooth connectivity? Yeah, that would be great. I'm hoping that something comes up. By the way, there are several. Okay. Man, I hate to put people on the spot, but what the hell? I guess we're there. It's really sad that this community, that I don't have the support of this community. I have all your support, right? You guys are building stuff. You guys are a lot of you guys donate to me. A lot of guys are my Patreons. A lot of guys do this thing. You guys are. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. But the sad thing is that those people that are benefiting the most out of this whole movement and my thing are not really on my side. Like Tom, for example. I mean, that dude, I sold 75,000 of those packs last year. Right? I connected him. Nobody knows this. I never told him, but I connected him to that company that now he's buying all those modem packs from. That's a connection to me. I texted him hey, contact this company. They have a bunch of batteries. They have a giant warehouse. Go get it. I play a role in his success of that company. Right? He's growing massively. But I feel like he's not valuing me. So he's not really putting money in my pocket. You know what I mean? At this point, no one is clicking on my links because they don't have to. Everybody knows who Tom is. So then it's BMS is another thing. Batrum it's a great product and it's there. And I've been pushing it for a long time. It's been in every single one of my videos. If you go back to all my videos, there's a link on it there. I talk about it. Anybody asks me about BMS, I was always pushing Batrum, right? I had one and I was showing it. I was getting ready to do videos and stuff, all this stuff. But, I hit them up. I'm like, hey, can you help me out here? And they're like, well, it's great that you're doing such a great job pushing and helping us grow that we're growing so fast that we don't have money to pay you. So you can't, sorry. so I'm like, well, that kind of sucks, It's okay, I guess I'm not going to be able to push your product anymore because, you know what I mean? But I'm not out there bad talking them. It's a good product. I want to push it. I want to use it. But those people are not supporting me. So I'm like, why? Well, how can I support them if they're not supporting me? You know what I mean? So there are other BMSs that are available, right? But yeah, I mean the best ones are not. And they're those 2 companies right there are the core of this community that we built, and somehow I can't support them. Peter was another one. Peter was a little YouTuber, and I was a bigger one, and then I helped him, and then I showed people. You know what I mean? He was oh, he was there from the beginning. You know what I mean? And then when I hit him up, it's hey, let's work together. Let's do this thing. He was yeah, you know what? Yeah, you helped me grow, but I don't, sorry. It's not going to happen. So Peter, like, that's why we're not working together. That's why I started my own thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't have those people. I don't have their support. The main people in this community, I don't have their support. And so whatever. I just keep going, chugging away. BMSs, yeah, there's another one that I want to try out. The problem is that it's not as the user interference is kind of weird. You gotta put this computer, hook it up there, and it's like some serial port and stuff, and that's okay for a lot of you are okay that are totally comfortable doing stuff through serial ports and typing in commands and stuff. It's great, but I think I'm obviously looking ahead of everything, ahead of the curve, right? Like I always try to do that, like new batteries, because it doesn't require, like, make it easy for everyone to use it. So it's the same thing with that BMS. It's like, make it easy. Like, why does it require to know how to open up a serial port or a serial screen and type in commands? Like, there's a lot of people like me. I don't know how to type in commands. Like, I don't know how to code. I don't know the first thing about code. Never coded anything in my life. The Arduino stuff was like hard for me. I struggled for it for like 2 days before I handed it over to my brother. And my brother, by the way, knew how to do HTML. And he's like, oh, this is like HTML. He's like, oh, what do you want to do? The thing? Oh, he figured it out like nothing. Right? So there's a lot of people like me, like, that don't know how to use it. So that's why I have trouble kind of like jumping on those systems, because they're hard to use. You gotta know about computers. You gotta know about coding and stuff. And that's also another reason why the new batteries work, because then the new batteries require less of a BMS, right? So a lot of people think like, oh my God, the balancing levels in some of these BMSs are like worthless. They're like 10 milliamps or some crazy thing, like, right? And I'm like, yeah, because they're designed for new batteries. They're not designed for use, recycle, reclaim modem batteries or laptop batteries. So that's why they're designed that way, and that's why they work, most of the time, but they don't work for a thing. So that sucks. 10 minutes with Big Elvis. Wow, that's a cool name. Can I buy a wall bank from you directly for my 12-volt travel trailer that I am connecting for solar panels to? No, sorry, I don't build stuff, because I would be building stuff I wouldn't have time to like go live and talk to you guys and make videos, because I'd be just building stuff. So I have plenty of my projects that I'm building that have attached a video, so that I can show, right? I'm most effective doing a project and then, document it in video form and then sharing it with you. Because then, 100,000 of you guys can see it and then be like, oh, you get inspired or learn something or, complete it. There's a ton of people that are completing these projects. It's kind of humbling to see how many people are building Powerwalls, like following the little systems that I'm designing and stuff, Yeah, so sorry. And then you want to deal with 12 volts, which you require, oh my God, come on, computer. Again, it got stuck. How does it get stuck? So so whenever I open the thing, yeah, the live chat just gets stuck. Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta stop using Safari. Safari sucks. Okay, close it. Closing the chat again. We're starting to open up a new one. Sorry about that. I wasn't even reading the questions anyways. Who cares, right? All right, there we go. Oh, 1 a.m. 0.1 a.m. will kill you. Wait, what's happening here? I don't know. Yeah, people are filling the chat with off topic. They're having their own conversations. Instinct 022 says, well, sometimes business is business. I know you're a good person, but no, not everybody's like you. Start doing your thing. Like bankers, they hide their deals on the locked door. Yeah, no, I just have to surround myself with people that think like me, right? You just I mean, we kind of live in an echo chamber, right? Like, we're all like batteries. There's some people from the outside that are looking at us like, these idiots. Like, what? You guys are taking like, what? Like trash? And like, that's dumb. Like, just buy a battery. Just buy a battery. Buy a lead acid battery like everyone else. Right? And by the way, they have, sometimes they have good points. But, you know, we're like, no, man, we're doing our thing for whatever reason. There's not one reason. Life is not black and white. So, yeah, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, I just got to surround myself with people that are going to kind of want to do the same thing, that are willing to do it. Yeah, you got to manage expectations. Like, with Tom, it's weird. Like, I never had a thing where it was just exclusive deal with him. I wasn't like, I never said like, hey dude, I'm only gonna push your batteries. That's it. Like, I'm yours, man. Like, what's that name of that movie? I don't know. This might be like a weird thing, but remember the 80s? There was that blood in, blood out. The guy's like, Jefe. The cholos in the prison. They're like, my life is yours, Jefe. Yeah, that wasn't me. I never told him that. You know what I mean? Like, I have my agenda, and my agenda is to push this forward. You know what I mean? Like, to make it easy for people to build batteries. And at one point, mine and his aligned very well. He had batteries. They were the best kind. They were good, you know, stuff. And they were like price cheap. And so then it's like, hey, let's push them. Let's help people build these things. And you know what I mean? Like, but somewhere along the line that changed. Like, I'm still trying to do that, but then he kind of, I mean, he's got baggage. Now he's got to like push that one product. And when it's no longer the best product for my vision, for my thing, then it doesn't work out, right? that's just what it is. It's kind of sad, but it's just it is. Let's see. Adopt, don't shop. Yes, adopt, don't shop. There's thousands of dogs that need a home, and cats or whatever. Brian McGee says, Garcia, there's an old saying we have here. It's called keep it simple. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, totally. Simple, simple, simple. I'll help you do this. You help me do that. Boom. We both meet the end of our agreement, and then we move on. Then we set up another agreement. No long term. No long term. I'm trying to, all of a sudden, like, Twitch wants me to go and do these live things over there. And I'm like, great, what do I get? You know, I have a smaller audience over there, but I'm interested in developing it over there. They're like, well, you can get more ad revenue, because I don't make any ad revenue over there. We can get you better things if you put links with like affiliates. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Oh, you can put shirts on Amazon. So these shirts, for Twitch partners, then they'll go on Amazon. And so you don't even have to know who I am. You're on Amazon, you'll see it, and you're like, oh my god, that's a cool picture of like a bus or whatever. I don't know. And then you sell a bunch of them, right? You know, I'm like, yeah, well, what's the catch? And they're like, well, we want you to be exclusive. You can't go live on YouTube anymore. And I'm like, oh, come on. And I'm like, well, I'll do it for a temporary, you know, I'll do it for like, I don't know, a year. I'll concentrate on videos on YouTube, and then I'll go live over there. Yeah, as much as you guys are going to hate it, a lot of you guys are already over there, right? But, you know, but for a temporary thing, yeah, I'll do it. No, don't do it forever. Don't sell your soul forever. Kiss method, there you go. How about dual motor car? One type of gear to torque and other with a VMAX. Yeah, that happens. The new Tesla's like that. That's totally a thing. What if he collabs with the build of the travel trailer? So you get content and money for a build. Well, yeah, no, that would be cool, except that I got like 10 projects lined up for me. Right, so now it's like I'm kind of busy with my projects. And by the way, my projects are, I mean, I'm no expert, right? But I've chosen the best projects that, because I don't know if you guys know this, but like making videos is like a full-time job. So I really have two jobs. One is to mess around with batteries, and then after that, I clock out and then I clock in to do the videos. And by the way, the video thing is much more, it's harder than the battery thing, you know. So, because that is the thing, and because that's the thing that I think adds value to me. Like, look, the only value I bring to Tom is the fact that I have an audience, and the reason I have an audience is because I'm creating content, right? I mean, everyone's building, you know, there's 100 guys, there's 1,000 guys over there creating battery walls, I mean, power walls, but they don't have an audience, right? And so I'm a weird thing that for some reason I'm a video guy first, right? So I want to concentrate on that, right? So that's the reason I have chosen projects that are going to be the most effective when it comes to marketing, to pushing an idea, to pushing a product, to show, you know, an idea or a new method or whatever, with the least amount of work. So a travel trailer might be perfect, you know, but what are we trying to like do the thing? I already did trailer. I have a channel, I have a video where I did a travel trailer where I filled it with batteries, plugged it into my bus, and it gave me, you know, an extra 60 kilowatt hours of battery. Like that exists, and I used it. I went to Arizona with it, right? So I've been there, done that. Could I do it again? Is it worth it? How much is the time spent? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta take all of that stuff into consideration, right? So that I can, because I'm just one guy, and you know, too much work, not enough time. So I gotta go for the best, the easiest, the smartest way to do the thing. You need your own ecosystem, group of like-minded but different capabilities, knowledge of each. Yeah, I'm looking for that. Where can I find that? Crimp Daddy says lead acid batteries are still awesome. There you go. See, I never liked them. I never touched them. I got into batteries after lead acids, so I don't have this love for them or this connection. I'm like, ugh, lead acid batteries, get those things out of here. They're like, have acid in them, and then they have that green stuff that gets, you're like, and then lead, you can't touch lead. Oh, it's just, they're nasty things for me, right? Which is crazy, because then lithium, I'm like, yeah, these are great. I mean, you can smell them. You know, I put them in my mouth if I didn't, you know, care about my health. But yeah, this is completely different. Vatos Locos Forever, says Keith Connolly. Is it possible to hook up Baytram BMS to your kids? Yeah, well, I mean, not officially. What happens is that he doesn't like Baytram, the current version of Baytram, or the current version of the Longmons, with a long cable to the cell, right? So if the boards, yeah, so that creates extra resistance again, and so I think the issue is that the sensing might not work as good, and so because Jaron is such a, I mean, he's a high level, you know, electronics engineer, and he is trying to design a bulletproof like system, then like he's super redundant when it comes to building stuff. So I think like those issues, he's like, no, it's not gonna work like that. So he's like, no, it doesn't work, right? There's a bunch of people that have done it and that are doing it, but he's like, no. And so he's actually working on another version of it that will allow you to have, what does he call it? I think he calls it like, whatever, like longer cables to the end, to the terminals, right? He was always like, no, you got to put this little cable on the actual terminal of the battery. Which, by the way, you could do that on our PCBs, but then for only one cell, the next cell is gonna go through like a little, you know, trace, and then the little connector, and then another trace, and then yeah. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a couple of people that are doing it, so we just have to see. And of course, he's gonna deliver hopefully a version that is going to work for this type of application. For these, it's the same thing with the Tesla modules. It's the same thing with all the car modules. if you don't have access to the direct cell terminals, then you can't really use the current version of the Longmon. But he's working on one that you will be able to use. So I think it'll work out. I think at the end, it's just that get a freaking loan and get the deals. You have content audience. They don't. Yeah, but why do I want to do all of the work when I can just concentrate and do what I'm best at? And I enjoy. It's not even what I'm best at, because I think I suck at creating content. It takes me a long time. It's like I have to force myself, and it's like a battle. It's in the battle every day to get ideas out of my head. But I enjoy it. It's rewarding. It's like when I hit that upload button, I'm like, that's my pay. That's my payoff. By the way, I did it for no money for years. So now that I'm getting a little bit of money, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like that much better, right? So I'm looking for rewarding work, and getting a loan, and that's not me. I've been down that road, and that's not me. So yeah, I'm trying to learn from life and not make the same mistakes. I'm not the guy that wants to set up a warehouse and have employees, and that's not me. I'm just partnering up with. So this deal is great because someone else is going to do that, right? They can order the PCBs, they can set up the fulfillment center, they can get the batteries, import them, set up the fulfillment center, and all I have to do is just like keep coming up with ways to make these better and to figure out how to build them faster and quicker and more safer, all that stuff. They'll deal with the whole batteries. We're gonna get cool batteries. By the way, like it's not just these Chinese batteries like the OEM ones. All the other ones are going to be available too. You will be able to order, kits with, $25. Although they are kind of useless to do that because, well, they're kind of used. But if anybody wants them, I'm not going to stop you. Overbuilding a system or using something that is too good, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? But something like this, like a 35E, for example. Okay, now we're talking. Now this one, it allows you to have a tiny little pack, 1 kilowatt hour, and then your battery shrinks and there's less space and less building, right? And those are like legit cells that have a good reputation, good life, and that sort of stuff. So you'll be able to do all that stuff too. Oh my God, my mouth is drying today. Brian Washington says, thanks for the inspiration. Thank you, Brian. I try to do my part. Hopefully I'm helping you guys some ways. 7S. I have 7S, ADP, and a PIP, a PIP 2424 inverter. At what bulk or float volt should I set it? Oh. So does the iPip not have one where you don't have the lead acid volt? The lead acid settings, because those are lead acid settings. Like I don't exactly understand what the float things are, but you should need that. You should have the upper level voltage and then not get past that. And again, if you wanna, depends what cells are you using. So if you're using 18650s, you don't want to go like set it up for, let's do the math. Here's the smart thing to do. 4 volts, right? Times 7 cells. Ooh, that's really low though. 24. What are you talking about here? Did you say? Oh no. I mean, if you can set it to 28 volts, upper voltage, right? To charge that voltage. And then you don't lose a ton of capacity. You don't leave a lot of capacity there unused. But you will get your batteries to last you forever because now you're not going all full depth of discharge, right? So that's what I would do. And then don't go below 3 volts, right? So what is it? 3 times 7 times 3. 21. So 21 to 28. That's your sweet spot right there, man. If you can keep those batteries there, woo, they'll last forever. You'll be handing them down to your kids. Is there a cheaper option of BMS for large capacity other than Baytram? So no, unfortunately, so there are a ton of BMS systems, right? But they're usually like small for like e-bikes or small packs, or they're like big. So the thing with Baytram is that it's big and scalable. So you can have one little pack and manage it, or you can have a giant battery. You know what I mean? Like a giant battery, and it's easily scales, right? So all the ones that scale, I think they're not that great. You know, so usually the BMSs that are there that I know, I'm aware of, is like the ones that are made for like automotive, right? And like we never liked them because they had like really bad track record coming up. You know, in the last 10 years, we've only seen a bunch of dead batteries from them. And they're really expensive. I mean, there used to be like $2,000 for some BMS, you know? Now with the Baytram, you know, that's the affordable BMS because it's scalable and it starts around $600, right? But yeah, there's nothing that touches it other than, you know, getting the little ones that you can distribute. You could also do that, right? Like you can set up one, like with my system, right? Where is it at? Let's see, here. So with my system, I am designing a PCB on top, right? So this is. Oh, by the way, yeah, some people call me out on this. Yeah, this is not 1 kilowatt. It would be 1 kilowatt if I was using these cells, and I did the math on these cells. But yeah, since I'm using these cells, it's only like almost 700 kilowatt hours or 700. 0.700 watt hours. So wait, yeah, 700 watt hours. So, it's somewhere around there. So you add another 4 PCBs to this, and it becomes 1 kilowatt, right? Well, you could BMS this pack 1 kilowatt, and then you put a BMS there that can handle the output that you want off of this, right? So then that's one BMS, and then you set up another one. And then you put that BMS there. So then that's a distributed BMS system. It's per pack. And, you know, they're all 24 volts. So then you'll all be connecting them in parallel or series. If you want to do, typically, I think most people are going to do 2 of these in series because they're going to want to do 48 volts, right? Depending on the size of the project or whatever. So, yeah. And by the way, this is version 2. This one still has the old...
Here's what I found on the web for Is It Gonna Want to Do or 48 minutes, right? Depending on the size of the song. Have a look.
Siri, shut up, man. Shut up. Yeah, so that's how the BMS thing works. Yeah, you haven't seen the video. I built that like in 3 seconds. Let's see. Echo suggests you look at the work requests that are coming in. You need to build a forum, not a live one, that hold charts, graphs, and Powerwall system calculators based on different needs. This forum would run itself by us and some moderators. Yeah, I think I want to do that. I have been talking. By the way, where is? I guess he's not here today. Island Times. He's my moderator here, and I guess today he's not. Right? Are you here, Island Times? And I told him, hey, let's set up a forum. You know, you set it up. You run it. I'll promote it. We'll create the content for it. We'll split, you know, the earnings or whatever. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then he started checking some and stuff. And then, you know, but that was a while ago and we never kept going with it. So, yeah, it would be great. I just, you know, like I suck at doing all that stuff. You know, I can't set up websites and all that stuff. You know, it's like I suck at that. I just need to partner up with someone that's willing to do it. And then, you know, I just endorse it. I'll be like, boom, do videos, send people there. Sort of like this deal. By the way, this deal, I didn't go looking for this deal. This just kind of came. Someone said, hey, you want some batteries? And I'm like, yeah, let's get some batteries. I'm looking for a source battery so that they're not always sold out. And maybe, maybe I can start making a little bit of money one of these days. And then all of a sudden those batteries show up. And then I was like, oh, wow, okay, so let's test these guys. And then start talking about this one. And then start, inquiring more. Like, you've been to the factory, you do the thing, you've been testing it. Yes, okay. So yeah, this is a great battery that just kind of came because someone presented the idea, and I'm like, okay, but you got to do all the processing, you got to do all the stuff, and they're down for that. So here we are. I have a partner where we're going to import a bunch of batteries. They're gonna sell my PCBs. We're gonna package them into like a kit, and then you could just buy and put everything together and build your Powerwall, and hopefully people are gonna do it. I don't want to be like, think that that it's gonna happen. It has a lot of potential. I know that. Your fans are going to follow you. That's what doesn't seem to understand, that they think that taking you over there, they're going to be weird. to Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They want me to do it exclusive, but I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if I want to stop doing these here, because look, there's 200 of you guys watching here. Like, that's worth something. I can get the word out to you guys quick, right? Let's see here. Can you foresee what the catalyst will be to move away from 18650s? Tesla moving to 21700s maybe? Just wondering what the obsolescence life for the 18650s will be. Can you comment? So let me see. Yeah, I think the only thing that's keeping 18650. I mean, yeah. So what is keeping 18650s alive right now? I think it's Tesla. I think it's like the Model S's are still using 18650s, right? The vaping maybe was a phenomena, I think. What else is using 18650s in large numbers? I think that's it. I don't think anything else is using. I think most of the batteries being produced now are pouch cells. Right? Every phone, there's billions of them, have pouch cells. Every laptop now has pouch cells. There's even like those e-cigs now also have like lipo cells in there, right? A lot of cars are starting to use pouch cells. So yeah, I think the end of the 18650 is coming. I don't think it's too far from now. You know what I mean? Like, just think about it. The automotive market is going to trump, because each car is going to use like 5,000 cells, right? Think about that. Like, there's 5,000 cars per week. Is that what it is with the Model 3s? Right? And I don't know. Let's say they have 4,000 cells, because I think they don't have 5,000, right? Times 5,000 cars. Now, that's 20 million cells just on a week, just for the one car, and if another car picks it, I don't know if people are going to, like, I don't know if other manufacturers are going to start using them. They seem to think that the pouch ones are better, or the prismatic ones. So yeah, it's hard to say, but I think Tesla's keeping these batteries alive right now. They're like the biggest manufacturer. Well, Tesla's now the biggest manufacturer of batteries, right? Like the Gigafactory is. And they're making 18650s and 21700s, right? So yeah, once they move away from that, I don't know when they will or how soon or whatever, but I think that the rest of the market shifts with them, because then yeah, they're just better batteries out there. I think pouches are going to be the thing. For some reason, all the other manufacturers like them, like those LG pouches that are, you know, where do I have them? I don't have any here, I guess. Well, I have some in the garage there. But yeah, those are, I think they're going to win. For some reason. Salvage means you need to cycle your cells to know. Guess how much longer they will last. If the price is right, it may be a good deal. Yeah, definitely. So salvage, that's, you know, you got to reclaim. You got to reclaim them. But it takes time. Like, you guys know. Some of you guys know how much time it takes, right? So you got to put that into the price. When you're trying to price your batteries, think about all the time that you're going to spend doing it. And if you're totally okay with doing that, then yeah, it's a good thing to get. And not only that, right? It's not the only factor. It's also a good thing. We need to find uses for those batteries, because if we don't, then they're going to end up in places we don't want them to. Like landfills, like in a smelter. Like, you know, they're going to be, you know, melted so that they can extract the raw materials off of them. And you don't really want that on a cell that still has life. That's the worst thing that you can do, because someone could have used it. Someone could have made a pack and still get, you know, 5 years out of it or whatever, you know. That's just wasteful. Any angle you look at it. And so that's why. Let's see. Good morning from Germany, says Kirk. When will the version 2 of the PCB board be for sale? That would be now. If you go to my kit.com/Jehu and then click on the PCB thing, there's instructions how to buy it. Besides, oh, by the way, guys, I have set up a new link in there where you don't even have to upload the Gerber file. You just click the file, you put it in the cart, you specify how many you want, the color of the thing, because you can. They don't have to be. If you want to be fancy, you don't have to be green like this. You can change that color and change the quantity, and then you put it in the cart, you order it, boom. It's supposed to be in 2 days. I ordered some 2 nights ago. So hopefully I'll be getting those soon. Yeah, so just go kit.com, right? kit.com/Jehu, and then go to the PCB or Powerwall project or whatever, PCB product, whatever I named that thing. And you can buy those right now. There's a lot of people buying those right now. And you're not buying them from me, you're buying them straight from the PCB maker's house. Should I 3S or 4S for 12 volt lead acid replacement? 4S lithium iron phosphate. That's what you should do. But if you're not doing lithium iron phosphate, I guess 4S would work. You're just leaving a lot of battery unused. It's not the end of the world. I guess you just gotta figure that out. You gotta buy extra battery and leave it there because it's gonna be unused. For BMS, go to GitHub or go to 12 volt solar shed and catch. Is you must build it yourself. Yeah, I think there's a few projects that are there. Medical devices and some electric vacuum cleaners use 18650s. Oh yeah, that's true. But you gotta think about, oh, that's battery mooch. Hey mooch. I'm terrible at. Can you help me do some tests on those batteries, just so that I can have like some third party? Because obviously I'm biased. Look, I don't care who you are. There's no such thing as someone being unbiased, right? Like, maybe I'm not as biased as someone else that has a business, you know, that this whole thing depends on a thing pushing a certain type of cell or whatever, right? But I am biased. I'm biased because I'm trying to get this system off the ground. I'm trying to make it right. So therefore, you know, I might be maybe lying to myself and saying like these batteries are better than, you know, than they actually are, because I want them to be, right? You have a way to, so the only way to really honestly and objectively, like, kind of eliminate that is to have somebody else, with like outside point of view, without, any involvement, check them. And so I know Battery Mooch is known in the industry. He checks a bunch of batteries, mostly, right? Well, mostly for vaping and stuff. So the high power ones or whatever. So you have the equipment and stuff. I wonder if you can help me out and check those out. Give me your opinion, and just us community. You can totally just you can totally just destroy them or give them the thumbs up or the thumbs down. What do you say? Does that work for you? I'd be happy to test the Revolt cells. Contact me at batterymooch. Okay. Woo! We have Mooch on board. He's gonna help us. He's gonna help us with those batteries. I'll open up a thing so that I don't forget, because I'm terrible. I remember things. Yeah, I was actually kind of looking at like your contact info like last week, because I wanted to ask you about that last week, but then so much going on and sidetracked that like I spent like 5 seconds thinking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then boom, next thing I know, I'm here. A week later, I'm like, oh, here we go. So okay, there we go. I'll save that in the thing there, and then I'll just all right, there we go. He'll be able to put them through his paces so that I can know that I'm not just being too optimistic. Being optimism is great, but then it becomes crazy. No, it becomes a bad thing when you turn your blind eye to like things that that doesn't exactly align with your vision, right? So you gotta be honest, and you gotta be open to the fact that that's what happens. So there we go. Check out my fusing method to my air electric scooter, if good or bad. Jen Powell, 026. What are you talking about? Send me an email, jhoodjack35. We'll check it out. I don't know what you're talking about here. SK uses Samsung 30Qs. Yes, the 30Qs. So yeah, so those are definitely like a lot of industries that are using 18650s, right? And by the way, he mentioned power tools. Probably out of all of those, probably the power tools is one of the big ones. But when you look at it, nothing is as big as like the automotive. Like I'm saying, like that's 20 million just with one manufacturer. That's in 1 week, right? How many cells are being put into power tools? I don't know what the size, but it's probably not as big as automotive. I mean, there's a ton of like tool companies that probably all of them add up more than Tesla right now, right? Because Tesla's just one car manufacturer that, by the way, is not 5,000 cars a week. It's a big deal to us, but in the overall scheme of things, it's like nothing. I mean, Chevy and Ford, they're like laughing at Tesla. They're like, you guys don't even know what you're doing. Learn how to make cars. We know how to make cars. There we go. Connie Spartan Christmas says, watching your old videos, what happened to the 1 megawatt battery? Sorry if it's a sore subject. No, it just never happened. They didn't want to pay me. There was that project kept growing. I wanted to make it, so again, I wanted to make it in a way that was going to be quick, right, and without a lot of red tape and stuff. And then they're like, no, let's do this and let's do that. Oh, let's put, like the entire roof full of panels, solar panels, and do the thing. And so the project just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I was like, well, this is a legit project now. You're gonna have to like get involved, like real engineers, and real people that are gonna, because they wanted to connect it to the grid. And I'm like, whoo, okay, this is like a thing. And so I spent a lot of time. I spent, about twice the amount that I originally had quoted for that project. And, when I said, hey, look, I'm here, like, this is past, this is way more time. I don't know if I want to be out here that long, first of all. Two, if I am, isn't this going to cost you a lot more money than this? And they're like, what? No, this is the budget that we said. And I'm like, not for this project. This was a little project. This now is this size, and you want me to stick with the? I'm like, no, that doesn't work. So it didn't work out. I walked away from it. I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't. There's no way. That it tends to happen. And since I'm not kind of like a contract kind of guy. I'm just like a handshake kind of guy. It doesn't always work out. I'm happy that I didn't get in trouble. They didn't sue me for breach of contract because there was no contract. Would it be possible or reasonable to build a battery pack out of 38 120 cells for an EV conversion? Yeah, people have done it. People have done it. People though haven't liked it. I remember there's a bunch of early builds with the whatever. What are those called? Those red ones, the heavyweight cells, and they just didn't stack up. They weren't good for EV duty cycles, right? So they were making little packs. At that time, they were like, it's really expensive, so everybody was going with a little pack, and they were pushing those packs hard. So now today, I think maybe they will fare better if you make a bigger pack, because now they're not as expensive, right? So then you have a properly sized pack. And so you don't run them as hard, and probably they would last longer. But as I remember in the early days, yeah, they didn't fare so well because they just didn't like the abuse and stuff. So people ended up building them, and then like a couple years later, they're like, yeah, these things are so degraded, get rid of them. So then they all ended up changing. But it could be done. It's just I don't know if it's worth it, I wanted to make a starter battery. Is it difficult with spot welding flat top LiPo 4 due to high amp starting of our Harleys? I cannot use fuse on starter batteries. No, I think you can do it. I wonder what kind of amperage are you talking about? I don't know anything about motorcycles, so I don't know how much energy it takes for a thing to start. What kind of levels are you talking about here? Woo! Oh, there you go. Wait, I put a link there? Oh, I did. Yeah, I put a link on the thing. All right. Revolt cell testing. All right, I just got an email about that. It's working. There we go. Yes, we'll send you, John. Yeah, I'll send you some too. I wanted, more independent testing is better than less independent testing, I think, right? Look, I don't claim to be an expert. I don't claim to know all the answers. I just claim to be as transparent as I can be, right? And so when I say, hey, he seems like a good sales, they passed the test here, therefore I think they are going to be good quality sales, right? Are they going to be? Are they going to have the longevity that we need? I don't know. There's a fair amount of uncertainty, right? Because again, I'm not going to say like, yes, I know for a fact that we do have some data that suggests that they are going to be long-lasting batteries, or at the very least equal, right? Or on par with what the other batteries that are more known are going to be, right? It's just, when someone says like, no, these batteries are this way without knowing the details, without knowing what factory they're coming from, the thing, it's just kind of weird. And so, yeah, I'm down. Let's have a couple people check the batteries and Yeah. I'll answer your email. We'll set you up. We'll send you some batteries. The good thing is that we have enough. I got boxes, and I'm gonna build my own setup. That's what I'm building here, right? I wanted to do a thing where I load it up, and squeeze a bunch of energy off of them. Maybe I can build, because I have a bunch of 26Fs too. So I wanted to see what it would look like under load, on the 7S, like a 10 thing, and just put it, just side by side. Let's look at it. Let's see what the batteries will do under load and how hot they get. And, let's put them through tests. It's the only way you're gonna know. Let's see here. Tesla. Okay. Can you tell me about 18650s in cold weather? Powerwall with solar array, freezing temperature. Yeah, no, those are not good. Well, here's a perfect example. If you watch my last video, you saw that these batteries didn't fare very good. I tested a bunch of these MH1s, LG MH1s. These are supposed to be 3200 milliamp hours. They weren't that great. Let me see. I have them right here. So, that one had high internal resistance, but there's a high likelihood that was just a mistake. So usually, like on those chargers, I think they're like they test high for some reason, right? Like if you have a 2600 milliamp hour, you test them at half an amp, and then like they'll give you 3700 or 27 or so, like a couple hundred milliamp hours higher. So when you test a 3200 milliamp hour cell and it comes back at 31, you're like, whoa, what's happening there? Like usually the norm is to be really high. What happened there, right? And then once you start testing them, the temperature's high, they don't perform. And then you kind of like ask the supplier, like, hey, those batteries you sent me, they're not that great. Then it comes up, they're like, oh yeah, those batteries weren't supposed to sell them to you. They're supposed to be over here. They're whatever. It turns out those cells were stored in cold location for 2 years. So cold, freezing temperatures are not good for cells. You will see a degradation in there, even if you're not cycling. These were sitting there, brand new, in cold temperature. And as a result of that, 2 years later, we get to see that degradation. Had these cells not been stored in the cold weather, in cold temperatures, would we be able to see that they're 2 years old? I don't believe. I don't believe that is the case. Although, you know what? I should cycle these more, because typically, if you cycle it like 3-4 times, in the 5th cycle, then you get your full capacity and stuff. I'm gonna do that test. Follow up on this one, because that's a thing that I didn't think about when I was doing these tests. So yeah, definitely, because then you're like, was it the cold weather, or was it the fact that they're 2 years old, so the chemistry is kind of settled and you gotta kind of wake it up and stuff. So there's chances both. But the thing is, it's well-known fact that freezing temperatures are not good for cells, especially if you're trying to charge and discharge. Like, you shouldn't be charging your batteries when it's below freezing. It'll kill them. And that's why Tesla actually spends so much energy trying to keep those, at a constant temperature, so that they don't reach anywhere between freezing and stuff. So, definitely don't use 18650s on cold weather, or if you're going to use it, use it with heating pads. Something that you can plug in, and then before you start using them, before you start charging them or discharging and stuff. Jehu, when will we get the next shipment of PCBs? Well, I don't know. I'm still waiting for mine. So I don't know if you guys know, but I released the next version 2.01. It got confusing there, because I was naming it one thing, Justin was naming another one, right? But I order it before anyone else. I had the file, and I'm like, I'm gonna order it, and then I'm like, okay, I should share it. I'm pretty sure there's no mistakes in it, right? It's a simple thing. There was no radical changes on it, so it's just a few changes here. It's unlikely that there's some major mistake, right? So I ordered it, and then everybody started getting it, and I wasn't getting it, and then I got an email like 5 days after. They're supposed to have 5-day like turnaround time, JLC PCB, and then on the 5th or 6th day or whatever, I get an email. It's like, oh, sorry, we cancel your order because it apparently there's like one little trace that is whatever. And I was like, what? How does it take you 6 days to tell me this? You totally just wasted my entire week. Now everybody's gonna get them before, and I don't have them. So that's why I don't have them. I can't, vouch for them. But I know other people have tried them, and they say that there is one hole that it's not connected to a pin, but that's by design. So they weren't mistaken. There was what appeared to be a mistake on the board, but well, why did they stop mine and they didn't stop everyone else's? Like, I don't get that, and I don't like that, because I'm supposed to have that board before everyone else, but because someone made a mistake. And then when I was like, hey, look, you made a mistake, you should have sent it to me, or you should have let me know a long time. They're like, just order again. They're like, and I was like, oh, really? So then I went and looked at some other, so I ordered this next batch from another house. I used PCB way this time around, and then as a result, I found out that, oh, by the way, I can store it there and I can share it so that you guys don't have to actually upload the file, because that's confusing, even for me. Like, I've never done it before. Now it seems like an easy thing, but for someone that's gonna do it once, and it's just easier you can like put it on the cart and click buy. And so now if you click on the thing, you can totally get it. Where is it at? Let's see. It's right here. Let me see. I'll share it. Here's the entire process. So I'm gonna get that. Oh, by the way, so yeah, I don't know. Did that answer your question? When are we gonna get the next? So as soon as I can like get my hands on it and test it and build a couple of them, and then I can give the green light and say, okay, order, I don't know, 1,000 or whatever is that we're gonna order. I don't even know how many we're gonna order, and then we can get them in, then package them into like kits and stuff, and then we can sell them. And then hopefully by then, because then there's the sale, right? It's gonna be probably ending. I don't know how long we're gonna hold the sale. I gotta figure it out. How much longer? Is there anybody that is looking to buy or get in this group buy, but for some reason can't right now, and needs a couple days or something? Let me know, because I don't know when we should like say, okay, that was the first order, and then have it imported out. I think it's only a few days from the time we place the order to the time where they can ship it. Like, this is a big factory and stuff, let's see here. I tried Samsung 21748 100 milliamp hours. They are bad. They are not even to see. Yeah, those are not. Is it this one? The Samsung one? Did you see Samsung? This is a Samsung one. 4800. Yeah, this is the one. I didn't load test it yet. So I have 5 different 2100s here, and I'm like, okay, this is a quick video. I'll just load test them, and then, and I just never got around. I was like, no, this PCB thing is more important. I got to work on that one and then do the thing. But I have them. I'm going to make a video. And so, wow, it's interesting that you say that it's not even a 2C. So, yeah, I think those are like energy cells. I think you're not going to get good, you're not going to get good power out of them. I'm planning on putting my Powerwall in the shed. Are you saying I should have control temp in there? Winter time can be below 32 degrees. or am I go with cycling then beginning with good temps? So it depends. Like, if you're using the cells, yeah, you're not going to be using them at a level where they're going to be creating their own heat to keep them temperature control. I mean, unless you are using them kind of hard and you're actually creating a little bit of heat, maybe they'll be okay, right? If it's like a thing that they're constantly using. So even though outside temperatures below freezing, but the actual cells are not, then maybe you'll be okay, right? But if you don't design the system that way and that's just not a thing that happens, then you might have your cells frozen and you're gonna like, yeah, they're gonna get damaged. So yeah, I mean, if I was you, I would install some like, you know, blankets. Like there's these electric blankets that you can put on stuff and then like heat. Either like, those are the easiest ones I think that you can do. And then like you put that inside the box where you're gonna put the batteries, and then you heat that, right? So you just always keep it on. I mean, you could even use the battery power to keep it on or whatever. I don't think they use a lot of power, especially if you automate it so that that's only when it gets below a certain point or whatever. Yeah, no, definitely keep in mind that, yeah, they don't like to be frozen. Those are not, you try to, you know, prevent them from freezing. Whoa, Chris Cotton, second order possible for me. Wow, Chris Cotton. Okay, we'll wait for you for a little while. I stay away from social media, says 18650 crazy. Oh yeah, it's all a bunch of drama, man. Drama. I'm from Argentina. I'm in e-scooters, some 48 volt packs. Oh yeah. The Samsung 48G is best under 5 amps, says Battery Mooch. Yeah, so that's definitely not a power cell. That's an energy cell right there. And by the way, well, no, those didn't heat. It was some of the other ones that were getting heat, just a regular half an amp discharge and charge. I was really surprised, but they're Chinese batteries, so I guess what can I expect? I like watching this without the sound and making my own version of it. It's crazy. And jesters are saying, yes, come on. This is my wife. She should actually be paying attention to what I'm saying. Like, what? Come on. I bet you she's saying that, but she's not actually turning the volume down. It's just that, you know, she tunes my voice out because, well, you know, I'm always trying to have a conversation about batteries with her, and she's like, oh, huh, right? And it just goes in one ear, out the other. So, yeah, by the way, those don't know, that's Crystal, that's my wife. She's just making fun of me. Shannon Williams says 2C per cell is a lot of the large Powerwalls. 2C per cell. Yeah, that's a lot. Imagine you have a 50, okay, imagine you have a 40, no. So imagine you have a 20 kilowatt hour Powerwall out of 48 Gs, right? Well, you can load that wall up to 40 kilowatts. What can you power with 40 kilowatts? I mean, that's a lot of power. So 40 kilowatts, right? So 40 divided by what? By the voltage? Yeah, right? So let's say that you're 120. Well, you're talking about 333 amps at 120. And of course, half of that, right? Divided by 2. 166 amps at 220. That's a ton of power. What can you power with that? You can power your entire home. Most homes have like what? Most older homes have a 100 amp service panel. The newer ones, they have like a 200 amp service panel, right? So that battery would almost max it out. 166, right? Almost at 200. So yeah, when you look at it that way, yeah, that's a ton of power. I I'm interested in a group buy, but need to know what the kit you are putting together will have. I want kits. Ooh, you want the kits. So the kit is going to have everything you need to like build a, yeah, basically build these guys, right? But it's not going to be this board. This is the version 1. It's going to be the second board, the third board. So it's going to have the different type of connectors. The one that has the ribbon stuff, and then I think so. They already sold like some kits, and it had all that, and it had the holders. Yeah, and it had the standoffs. Oh yeah, I gotta ask him about the standoffs. I wonder where they got the standoffs. I think they're the standoffs that I spec'd out from. Yeah, I gotta ask them. But you eventually will get everything to like build this, for example. And I think I got like several sizes or whatever. I don't know, like, so yeah, you get everything, so you can, you know, pop them together. You will have to solder the pins and the holders, and then you pop the batteries and then connect the, you know, screw them together, and then you end up with something like this, and it's 24 volts. Like if you had like a van or something, you know, you make a couple of these guys, right, and then you can run an inverter, 24 volt inverter. Oh yeah, and by the way, I totally copied one of you guys, and I'm gonna build that thing. Check it out. One of you guys shared this project on the Facebook group, right? This is the Amazon Basics thing, and then he put it on there. But let me see. I need more of them. So this is the version. It's closer to this version. That's the ribbon that we're using. This is where you're gonna plug in the BMS or the whatever. The thing where you check the voltage. The voltage checker. Can I fit 10 of these boards in here? Let's see. Oh my god, these things are sharp. What? Look at this. It fits exactly. Woo! Okay, so it's got a little bit of slop, but that's okay because we need room to put the cables, to put the, maybe I'll put like some connectors over here, or I don't know. Check this out, man. Yeah. Right? So with the right cells, like these guys, 1 kilowatt right there. 1 kilowatt hour in a case like this. Look at that. There you go. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna do like a different one where like, should I make one where I put like posts up here and it's like positive and negative, and it's just a battery with like a little, like always with a little monitor too, so that it's a smart battery. It's not completely, right? But if the posts are right there and you use those to discharge it and charge it, that'd be cool, no? What do you guys say? There we go. Oh god, that was heavy. All right. So it's 10 p.m. where I'm at. Let's see. Meatno says, remember you from Casey Neistat. Damn, that was a long ago, but I'm still remember. That's cool. Yeah, man, you've been on here since the very beginning. Let's see. How big of standoffs if you do batteries on both sides? The SMD board allows batteries on both sides. So I think it's 19 times 2. What is that? So 38. But I don't think you're gonna find 38 millimeter standoffs. I think you're gonna find 40 millimeter standoff. So you'll have like 2 millimeters between each cell. So I think that's good enough. So yeah, I think you'll find those. Do you have a discharger? Yeah, I don't know what a discharger is. What's a discharger? I mean, usually your discharger is whatever you're powering. That portable power pack will be sweet. Yes, I know. I want to build it. And I'm actually going to build one for Tom. It's going to compete with that Kodiak one that everybody keeps sending me links to. It's that one black box that can do like 30 amps or close to 30 amps. And it's like, it's like $2,000 or something for it or whatever. Like 2,000 amps, I think, at $2,000. So I'm actually building one with the bigger one case out of like those pouch cells, right? And so I'm gonna put like a 3,000 amp, 3,000 watt inverter in there, and then yeah, and it's gonna be a 24 volt. Yeah, and hopefully it's gonna be way less. It's gonna be half the price of the Kodiak, but twice the performance. And I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna put it there, push a bunch of those batteries. Yeah. Let's see. With 3,500 milliamp hour, it's even more kilowatt hour on that case. Yeah, so it'll be that's 100 cells. No, that's 10 times. That's 70 cells. So 70 cells at 3,500. That's about 1 kilowatt hour. Dane TR, me too. Casey Neistat is how I found you. What? That's so crazy. Are you doing any portable recycled power packs? Portable recycled power. What's portable power? Portable recycled packs. I don't get that question. Yeah, I'm gonna be using the recycled ones on the other one that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go straight for the throat of that one, the Kodiak. This one is just gonna be like, oh, this is what you can use these PCBs for. Like, they're not exactly for that, but you can use them for this. Did you fix the heat buildup on the terminal connections on your board builds? No, there wasn't a heat up problem. So a lot of people saw that video and they're like, oh, how are you going to fix that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I was trying to find out where they would heat up, and it's well beyond the recommended use of the PCBs, right? So basically what I want to do is find out where that was, and it's below, and if it's above that, then it's okay. So that's not a problem. That's actually, it proved to be okay, because I am recommending that each board only be pushed at 100 watts. Right? At 100 watts, it doesn't create heat. It's just, it just gets slightly warm. It's only when you're running like 300 watts per PCB, then it started heating up. So no, we didn't find a solution for that, because I'm not looking for a solution, because it's well within the specs or well within the design that I'm doing. Remember, these are storage PCBs. These are for storage batteries, not for high power, high performance. These are not good for cars. These are not good for e-bikes. These are not good because they're just holders. Like I don't think they're gonna do that well in vibrations. Although they kind of hold in there really good. But you know what I mean? Like yeah, we don't know. We'd have to do some testings to see how it would handle vibrations. And you would have to use a big enough battery that you can power, stay with around 1C. Because that's the output. That's the continuous output of this battery. Wait, was it 2C? 1C or 2C? No, it's 1C. It's 1C output, continuous output, 2C max. Yeah. Matching capacity per serial string is more crucial than matching impedance. Matching capacity per serial, yes, yeah, that is really important. Than matching impedance, but are a similar process. You must be recycling cells like me. My best packs are made of the same cells. Yeah. So you got to do both, because you don't want to have. I mean, you just got to stay like away from the really weak cells, right? Basically, like all your cells have to be able to push the minimum or the maximum amount of power that you're gonna push them through. So you got to stay away from the max. Like, right? So let's say that all your cells can do, they have different internal resistance, right? But they all can push 1C at a fairly, good level. They're not heating up, then that's okay. They're never going to like drift apart from each other. And if they do a little bit, there'll be all the other cells that are in parallel to that are gonna push and feed more energy into that when it drops a little bit, right? And besides, the weak cells are going to keep more energy. Wait, how does that work? Yeah, keep more energy. The ones that are strong are the ones that are pushing more energy, right? So, yeah, it'll level out, I think, as long as you're not like way, you're just putting cells that are like way too different, and it's just a simple. I mean, it's simple, but it's a lot of work. You gotta test all your cells and mark them, and then like for example, you get cells like sort of this one that you're like, well, is it? Which one is it? This one? Look at this one's right. 20 milliohms, right? On the 25 Rs. But then there was one that was like 100 or something. One was like 120 or something, and you're like, well, is that cell really have that high internal resistance, or is it the charger? So then you gotta run it a second time. And I guess checking resistance is not a big deal. It's not as time consuming as the other ones, but you still have to do it. And when you have to process thousands of cells, then it becomes a thing, right? And then, next thing you know, you've been processing cells for months instead of building your battery. And that's where new batteries come in. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. I'm sorry that is the truth that people don't like. Jehu versus Kodiak. Yes, I'm coming for you, Kodiak. So they can stack. Yes, they can stack. These chargers are used for battery conditioning. So more accurate question is, how do you prefer to do There's no. So we don't recondition. Like I mean, at least that term is not used in, lithium batteries. You don't recondition batteries. I mean, there is a type of reconditioning. That's when you just cycle a battery, like 3-4 times, and then you actually get better capacity, performance stuff. When they've been idle for a long time, they've been sitting there for a couple years. But no, we use regular chargers, right? Those ones in the wall there. I don't know. Can you guys see them? Those right there. I have made a whole video about those. It's actually a live chat like this. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but yeah, it's those will charge and discharge, and do the whole thing, and then it'll measure the capacity and the whole thing. So, can your kit setup be used for an EV conversion? No, it's not set up for that. You need more. So typically in an EV, you need like 5C output, right? I mean 5C max, 2C continuous. Let me see. 2C, yeah. So think about this. Like Tesla. I mean, Tesla's a high performance car, I guess. But just think about this. Tesla's Model S is 85. The most common one is 85 kilowatt hours, right? And that one, there's different versions of it, but I think a lot of them are like between 300 and 400 kilowatts. So let's say that you have the smallest one. Let's say, I think it's like 350, 350 kilowatt. You divide that by 85. Yeah, so check it out. When you're stepping on that thing, right, and you're accelerating hard, your cells are seeing 4.1 Cs. right? So you're seeing quite a bit. 4.1, so it's a 3.4 amp hour cell supposedly times 4.1. So yeah, your cells are seeing about 15 amps. So that's how much you're asking out of your cells. Now that's just an acceleration, that's at peak, whatever. Going down the road, you're not using that much. I think average car like Tesla on the road, it's like, I don't know, like 300 watts I think per mile, kilowatt hours. No, 300 watt hours per mile, right? So man, but that's hard. How do you do like? So if you can like go down at 60 miles an hour for an hour, right, and you're using 300 watts. Yeah, I mean, so you're using 300 watts, right? 300 watts, and it's at what? Do you multiply? Yeah, it's hard. I don't know what the normal. I don't know how to figure it out, but it's probably like 1C or 2C, I think, like for every day, right? But with the cars, that's the cycle life. It's like you're at a stop, not using anything, then you take off, and it's a huge amount of current that you're asking out of your batteries. It's like you're trying to kill them, and then you get up to speed, and then it tapers off. You're like, oh, okay, then there it is. Like batteries are like, okay, we're not gonna die today, and then you come up to a red light, and then you slam on the brakes, and all that energy comes back because of the regenerative braking, and you're like, you got to take all this energy, like hundreds of amps, and then your batteries are like, oh, okay, all right, it's not that bad. It's like, and then green light comes on again, and you're like, you want to race the guys next to you. That's the life. Like it's not a constant thing. It's like huge peaks, right? And so that's why this system is not. I don't think it's not designed for that. This is designed to output a max or a continuous 1C, right? And a maximum of 2C. But at 2C, this thing is kind of getting hot. You know what I mean? Like, so 1C, in a car it wouldn't do it because then you would ask 3-4 C's on acceleration, right? And then the same thing negative on deceleration. So yeah, not good. And then I don't know how well they would obviously do for Don't use it. We gotta write that on the board. Yeah, I think. Oh man. Yeah, I gotta tell Justin. Next version, I'm gonna be like, no EV. What should I do? Like no automotive. Don't use them on your car. No automotive applications. Or I don't know, something. I'll sue you. I'll come sue you if you use it for. No, I don't know. Try capacitors to boost. Yeah, there we go. You would have to, because your PCB boards will be melting if you don't. What it means you use for discharge protection? Everything is fused. There's like 7 fuses in every board, so it's pretty fused. Can I buy directly an PU from your house? Pick up from your house? I live close by. No, I don't sell anything. I don't sell anything. Sorry. So everything has to be done through the website because it's going to be a fulfillment center, and that's where the thing is going to be. I'm a content creator. I make videos. I don't want to sell stuff. Good reasoning on self-balancing. I ran that by my professor. My logic is cells with higher voltage will put out more energy, and that will bring them into line with the low cells. He didn't buy it. I don't know. I don't know if that works out. Tesla has battery temperature management system. It can heat and cool the batteries to keep them working. The heat in each battery is current times internal resistance. Yep. Yeah, definitely you're gonna have to. Yeah, you can't. If you live in California here, you don't have to worry about it, right? Well, don't put it outside where the sun is hitting it all day, right? But As when it comes to like low temperature, you don't have to worry about it. But everywhere else, I think, yeah, you gotta keep them inside. Hello from Romania, Morocco. Not for EVUs. There you go. That's what it. Yeah. Why can I come up with that? That's the best description of difference between C's and vehicle versus power ever. Really? Come on. Yeah, it's actually quite easy. You're like, you got to talk about watts. That's a big problem. Like, I see a lot of people that are like trying to talk about volts and amps, and amp hours and stuff, and you're like, man, you guys are totally just, yeah, complicating your life. Like, just let's talk about watts. Watts is energy. That's a full size, right? How much? What's the wattage that your house uses? Oh, my AC uses 5,000 watts. Okay. So how big of a battery do you need, you know, to run your AC? Well, since this is capable of 1C, you need a 5 kilowatt hour battery at least. But that's only 1 hour. If you want to last 2 hours, then you double that, right? Now you're looking at, 10 kilowatt hours. Watts is just simple. It just kind of works. You got to convert it to watts. But it's too late in Texas and I'm sleepy. Roll Guerra, thank you for spending time with us. Current limit rating on the board. So it's a surface mount fuse. So I'm recommending 4 amps. But you can probably go up size 5 or 6. Some people are going to do 8, right? I think if they're gonna go with the double-sided, because our boards are also they're also compatible with like the other types of holders. They're like this. So these holders are surface mount, and you'll be able to do double-sided like this. And so on this board, you'll be able to do more like 8 amps, right? So this is the place where the board is, the fuse is at. So you'll have to fuse it at 8, 9 amps, something like that. Below 10 or 10. Don't go above 10. Let's see. So there is current ratings on each board. Is it on this one? The first generation doesn't have. The second generation has it. Where is it at? It does say there. Hold on, let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm out of boards. And I wanted to order them, but I didn't want to order the old one. I wanted to order the new one. So here we go. Yeah, man, the boards have a thing. Max single module per stack. Oh, it actually gives you the size of the standoffs. 8mm hex M4, 7mm, 6mm aluminum, and then it says per stack. So it says 20 modules per stack, 17. Yeah, brass. So he worked out like what would be the optimum for that, right? And then, yeah, I think I covered it up. This is a double-sided board that didn't work out, and I'll explain why on the video or whatever, why they don't. It's hard to load the through-hole holders on both sides. It's just a ton of work, and it's not worth it. You're just like, you're trying to save like $1, but you're spending like another 10 minutes trying to bend clips, and it's not worth it. It's not, if the aim is to try to save money and by saving time, you're not gonna wanna sit there and bend little pins and then you gotta add extra solder, and then if you don't add extra solder, like with time, that like the pressure will like bring it up, and you don't want to do it. Whoa, look at that, Twitch. Humble Beast is now following me on Twitch. Well, that's funny because I'm not even on Twitch right now and people are following me. Cool. 1039. Okay. I need 40 of those. Which ones? you put your battery pack in that particular case where they get, will they get overheated? If you run them hard, yes, they will overheat. If you run them on 1C, it'll be fine. I hear higher the DC voltage, better the efficiency in the DC to AC conversion. I guess 48 volt will be better than 24 volt for Powerwall. Yes, it will be, but you just have to do 2 boards in series, and then that's your 48 volts, right? That's why I kind of did that. Come on, Siri, stop it. God. Do you use MPPT to charge the battery packs? Yes, I have a couple MPPT solar charge controllers. So now you need to do another PCB for EV application with higher amperage. I am going to do that because I am going to put hopefully at least 60 kilowatt hours of batteries on my bus, and it's going to be custom modules, and they're going to be custom like to fit each one of like the space that I have. Like in the back, they're going to be kind of, I don't know, they're going to be kind of long. Well, I don't know, like I might have to do them small, like some standard that I can interconnect or stack, because I have a lot of space in the back, like this tall and this wide, right? So I want to do individual models. Well, they're going to be kind of hard, but I think I'm going to make like 2 versions. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but it's definitely going to be, but they're not going to have those holders. They're going to be the type that is going to be welded. So it's going to be basically like a Tesla module, right? It's going to be like this. So it's going to be like this. See how those are welded right there? Oh my God, I just stuck my finger in right there. See, those are welded there. But the boards, instead of being like this, they're going to be like that. Yeah. So 2 boards, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then I'm going to have inner boards to hold the batteries in. I'm not going to use plastic holders or any of that stuff. I'm going to just use another board with holes. Put it in there, standoffs this way. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. And so that project's coming up. I almost have all the batteries, and hopefully we'll be able to get enough batteries sold through this thing that we're doing here that I can afford to buy the rest of the batteries for the Samba, because I wanna get that bus done, man. Since like 8 months ago, I've been trying to get it done, you know. PC fans for cooling might work. For EV use, just build larger battery with smaller motor. Yeah, you could do that. So I actually have, I mean, these boards could actually work for my bus right now, because I have a 48, so almost 50 kilowatt hour battery pack on my bus, and my system at peak could only push or draw 80 kilowatts. So I'm like 1.3 kilowatt C's, I think, right? So I'm below 2 C's, so you know it can handle it. But again, I don't know how well they'll. So they're not the most compact, so I wouldn't want this on my bus, right? I want the most compact, the most energy dense pack that I can possibly build, so that safely build. So that I can stuff enough battery in that car. I mean, it would be great if I can throw like 80 kilowatt hours in that bus. Imagine that. You're like, I got 350 miles. Whatever. What more can I want or whatever? So you never know. If that's the case, I'm gonna be stuffing, and the way I'm going to do it is gonna be like this, right? The benefit of having this like thing here is that it's modular. So the modular allows you to, like, you can have one board, 7 cells, and then you have 24 volts, and you can power your inverter. It's just not for very long and not for like a large load, right? But then you have another 7 cells, and you can get an extra board, populate it, stack it, and all of a sudden your battery just double in size, right? and you can still use it. Well, you can keep doing that, right? Like you can just keep. So I'm gonna make my modules for my car the same way. My car uses a maximum 30 cells in series, right? It's a 30S pack. So I want to make every module 30S, right? And it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna have a little ribbon, and it's gonna interconnect from one module to the next. 30S, 30 cells. And I'm gonna be able to be like, well, I don't have enough batteries to complete the whole thing, but I can just do the floor. I can do one side of the floor, or the front side of the floor, so that keeps it. And then I'll just do those modules and do those batteries and then interconnect them, and then boom, But eventually, yeah, I'm gonna be able to fill as much space as I have there with batteries, so that So yeah, I'll make those available to open source so that people can use them, because that's people will be able to use them in any other car, not just mine. Let's see. Can you use the same PCB if you sync the current with the additional copper? So the bottleneck is not really the traces on the board, it's the actual holders on this one. So if you just remove the holders and you build a pack like that other one that I just showed you guys over there, then you could actually have a higher output. You can run, man, you got to look at those tests. I did some tests about a couple months ago with those boards. Go look through my channel, you'll be able to find them there, and I show you like where those boards started heating up. And it was causing trouble because there was a different length of traces for the positive and the negative. So I actually changed the design so that the new boards, you could set it up where they're symmetrical. So you have the negative here, and then you have the positive over here. So negative here and positive is all the other way across. So they have the same length of trace to the actual terminal of the cell. So when you load it up hard, like let's say you load it up 500 watts or something, the board, then each cell is loaded up at the same level. Because what I was seeing, it was like, like the one cells over here, I don't remember which cells, but they kept, they kept being loaded. They were uneven. And you could totally see it in the voltage. So in order to prevent that and have cells start walking off or whatever, so those are now able to do quite a bit of power. I guess I'll have to run the test again to show you guys how it stays even. I actually did it without, setting up the camera. I'm like, I can spend the next minute testing it, or I can spend 20 minutes setting up the camera. So I just did it, and I'm like, all right, it works. So I just got to get it on camera now. Have you ever thought of doing a 120 volt nominal pack? Well, yeah, that's what I will make for my car. That's a 30S, so it's 111 nominal, but 126 fully charged. That's what I'm going to be doing. Richard Jesk says 67 bill fastback looking for custom packs, 144 volt, 40 kilowatt hour. Oh yeah, you'll be able to make those, I think, with my pack. So I'm also going to do the release those boards, but in completely like parallel configuration, so that you can, like, one of each module is 1S instead of 30S, right? So that you can make whatever you want. You could also be able to use them to storage or whatever. I don't know what the pricing is, what that's going to work out to be, right? But I guess eventually when we do it, we're going to be able to figure it out. But it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, boards are cheap. Especially if you get a bunch of them. Hi, do you mind if I download some of your videos from YouTube for my reference? Not share unless you want to. Yeah, no, I don't care. Share them. I don't care. Take them. Use them. Your kits are good for RV batteries. Maybe. From where are you located? Oh, that's for somebody else. Can you test the kit durability in your Samba? Not these ones. I will test the ones for the Samba. Are those the keystone holders? Yes. These, right? These are. I don't know if they're different. Like I got a couple of different versions. They're kind of hard to get. I had to wait a long time for them. So that's why I don't have a lot of them. I think I have like a few boards that I put together because I wanted to show them on video. So this is also going to come to the video, and I'll show them. Before I can show them, now I have a different board. That's what happens with these projects. They evolve so quickly because you're like always trying to make it better. Eventually, you kind of reach a point that then they're good. How many of the PCB kits will I need for 100 cells I order? So there's 7 cells per board, so you'll need like what, 14, 15, something like that? Something like that. Support them because what? Let's see. I went configurations 5 kilowatt hours. With the new boards, it seems to me one may be able to use some alligator clips, for example, an emergency jump start. What? What do you mean? I don't know. Emergency jump start what? Start the board, the batteries? What is your power requirements for your motor? AC50 means what? What's the AC50 stand for? I think it's like, I think the AC50 is like 50 kilowatts continuous. I think that's the continuous rating of the motor, or the system at the very least. Well, that's the motor. But really, the throttle there is the controller. And I think it's like max, like peak is 80 kilowatts. So yeah, it's a 700 amp. It's like 650 amp system at maximum of 130 volts. So that's what my battery will see. Like mine is actually hacked, so it will put out a little bit more, like 750. 700, 750, I think it's max. But I never see that much. You could. PCB printer version 3.0. El boludo? What does he say? We gotta show that one, let's see. Entonces el boludo de Thomas te tiró tierra en tu compra de grupo. Sí. If I use PCV in all recycled battery, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. It's just easier with new cells. That's all I'm saying. Have you considered edge connectors to reduce soldering on the board? I see what you're saying. No, I haven't. Maybe I will look into that later. It's just they're bigger. No, they're like really big, and I didn't like that. But they can carry a lot of current, so maybe I will be won over, because there's a lot of people that are suggesting they need to be hot swappable, and I'm like, oh. I mean, yeah, if you're going to be using terrible cells, you will have to be swapping batteries all the time. But if you're going to be using new cells, no swapping batteries. You just build a battery, you connect it to the wall, boom, you forget about it. You're 10 years later, you're like, I wonder how the battery's doing. Let me check it. Oh, okay. I'm thinking of using 3D printer and the QL to solder packs. Yeah, do it. Let's see. I would be happy to buy a captive battery for you to run on parallel with the lithium on your car. I want to see how reducing the peak drainage during acceleration will increase the battery life. Oh. for a car or RV. So wow, so you guys are not posting questions anymore. You're just posting comments. I'm looking for 7.5 kilowatt-hour configuration of batteries. Yep, you can do it. I have what is it, 4 or 5? I forget. I think that's like 5 kilowatts right there. 5 kilowatt hours. Let's see. So the edge connectors are the ones that are like using for like hot swappable like things. You just push them in and they have like a blade type of connector in there and it goes, but they're like bigger. They're like, usually I haven't seen any like smaller ones, right? Especially like this ones we're using like 16 pins. So each 2 pins are carrying the same the same lead. So there's a little bit of backup. So if one messes up, then the other one's going to be there. So there's a little bit of redundancy and stuff. And it doubles up on the, current capability of doing the thing. Let's see. Yeah. Think about memory cards with plating on the edge of the PCB and plugs into a connector. Definitely, those are the types, and you can do on the top and on the bottom, right? And you can, yeah, definitely. It would, I think. I mean, it would work. It's just the different connectors, right? And I have to start playing with those stuff. I never knew anything about these. They were suggested by someone, by the other guy that's used to making PCBs. Which, by the way, I haven't seen him upload anything in a while. Can we mold this module in resin? Do 18650 need vents? I always to mold cells in resin so I can increase durability. I don't know. Yeah, Richard Adams. Yeah, they're gone. We'll have to order them. That was just the initial like order that we sampled that we got. So when you guys were going in there and clicking the button, they're like, well, I guess let's sell them. So we decided to sell them. So much that I didn't even get any, so I have to wait for mine. But yeah, definitely as soon as we clear them, that they're how we want them, and then we're gonna order 1,000 boards or I don't know, something like a big order so that we can start shipping. And then that's the cool thing about the PCB makers. They can order. It's quick. Except for me, it'll take 2 weeks to get the boards for me. Jeremy says, happy to support you with equipment as I am very interested in the voltage current data for your car. You have a perfect tested environment and I'm looking for real-time data. Wow. Yeah, what kind of data are you looking for? Voltage current data. So you're looking for like seeing how the batteries behave, or how does like custom modules? I mean, because I have my bus is there and it's got Tesla batteries, and there's some stuff that I can tell. I can't tell like voltage of each group, as it's wired kind of weird because the modules, the way the modules came, I never actually plugged them all in parallel. So that's how it's kind of a weird setup, but it's working. The capacitive batteries claim to reduce the peak loading on lithium batteries. What are capacitive batteries? I'm not sure if I understand what those capacitive batteries are. Question about the BMS balancing connectors on your PCBs. How about the maximum balancing current that goes through the IDC cables? Aren't IDC cables rated for very low currents? Yes. Yes, they are. But, again, I'm designing the system to be used with, good cells, new cells. So there's not going to be a ton of power that is going to be transferred through there. It's mostly those are going to be for sensing. And then whenever the occasional group starts like, you know, drifting or whatever, then the BMSs are like, they're like 300 milliamps, I think. I think that's like the maximum that you can get. So if I'm using 3, then it's like an amp, maybe, right? So that's max. I think they're gonna see an amp, and so that's why, you know, if you do 10 or 15 boards, that's probably the maximum that you want to do if you're going to BMS them there, right? So that at 1 amp, the battery's still, you know, you can sway that fast enough. If they're off or whatever, for the occasional thing that it's off. Yeah, but they're definitely not, those are never, balancing is never like a high thing, you know what I mean? Like, you're not moving large amounts of current on balancing. You're just, you know, mostly sensing and stuff. All right, dudes. It's 11 p.m. and I'm running out of voice here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending the time with me here and talking about batteries and talking about the things. Yeah, make sure and check out my group buy. It's right here. If you guys want to get the PCBs, you can do it. You don't have to wait till we get them. You know, when we get them, I think it's going to be better, I guess, right? Because you're going to be able to get everything and like order once. Right now, you'd have to order, you know, in a bunch of places. But it's actually easier right now to get them straight from the source, because you can do that right now. You don't have to wait for us to get them and stuff. We weren't quite ready. We wanted to start this, you know, the group buy so that we can get a bunch of batteries and I can build a large pack with them and stuff. So definitely, yeah. Here's the PCBs. There's a link. You can totally just order it, put it on the cart and then order it. You'll have it in like 5 days. You'll have boards. And then there's links on that link also on that website. There's links to every other component. They will be coming from China, so those will take a little bit longer. Yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you guys in the next one. The next ones are going to be a bunch of like tests for these. I'm going to be putting all these boards and all these cells, the Chinese ones, right? Because I know, again, I'm asking you guys to trust me, you know, and so I think the more tests that I do, the more independent I'll be sending them to a couple of people, and then the more that is known about these cells, hopefully the better that we'll be prepared to see them, to take over this world, to take over this Powerwall thing. All right, guys. Thank you again. We'll see you guys in the next video. All right. Where's my thing here? Oh yeah, don't forget, if you guys are not on our Facebook group, go check out our Facebook group. There's a lot of drama there. If you love drama, oh, we got drama for you. There's fighting. There's more fighting. I'm mostly doing all the fighting, arguing. Yeah, there's also a link here. Go join. And I want to beat that other group that kicked me out. Those guys didn't want to work with me. Screw them. Let's beat them. They think like, yeah. I heard them over there say like, yeah, this is the biggest group on Facebook, you know, Powerwalls. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. In 5 months, we're halfway there. So in the next 3 months, I want to pass them. I want to reach them, pass them, leave them behind. Let's do it. Go sign up. All right. Thank you. All right, let's go. No more fighting. Happy thoughts. Oh yeah, I wanted to see this thing. Okay, so you want to build a DIY Powerwall. I'll show you how to do one. Using these as batteries and these as your inverter, you can build a small DIY Powerwall. Let's get going. So how much does this Powerwall cost? Let's do a rundown on the prices of all the components. First, we have the solar charge controller available for $38.99, the bidirectional meter at $29.99, non-interruptible power supply available for $30. The battery modules are $50 each. There's 10 of them, so it's $500 in total. The 32-inch metal box is $59.22. A fuse holder is $682. The battery management system, the long ones are $14 each, and the main unit is like $200, so it comes down to a total of $342. All these components come to a grand total of $1,008 US. You can find the links for all these parts on the description of this video. I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future videos, all having to do with DIY renewable energy. This is a test of a Light-O-Color branded LG HG2 cell. According to the spec sheet, this cell can do a maximum of 20 amp continuous and shouldn't go above 75 degrees Celsius in temperature. And just like that, with that little crack, the cell is damaged beyond repair. At 15 amp load, this cell reached a maximum temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, at which point the CID was triggered, and now the battery is open circuit. So that's how you kill a fake LG HG2 branded Light-O-Color cells. Alrighty. Come on. Alrighty, here we go. Look at it go! Vieron. I don't know. Oh my god! Oh, I see. Yes, it's good. Let's make a Powerwall.
Positive, positive. Well, they're not super even, but they're okay. Whoa, they are kind of all over the place.
And just like that, we assembled a 1 kilowatt hour battery pack, 24 volts, ready to be used. saw a documentary on the building of the Twin Towers, and it turns out they're so close to the ocean, they needed to retain all that water. So they had to build these walls, and each one of those little things there are screws. They're just rods, steel rods that are going to the bedrock to hold that wall. And this is not the only, this is probably the last one because the building was right there. So this is
I think those
last
are
one.
called anchor bolts.
Anchor bolts, yeah. And those, they call those walls slurry walls. Crystal's covered up like it was sandy.
I'm cold.
Let's talk about the EV West M3.
I'm Michael Breen with EV West, and 7 years ago we started our little electric car speed shop so we could help people make classic cars go faster. At the time we were looking around for venues, and there wasn't a lot available to electric cars, and we came across Pikes Peak, and they actually had a class. And we ended up building the car, purpose-built for Pikes Peak. We ran the race in 2012. We ended up setting a record for the fastest street-legal electric car to go up the hill.
Now the car that Michael is talking about is the famous M3.
342 horsepower and 850.4 pound-feet of torque.
A few years later, I saw it. All right, so I just arrived in Manhattan. My allergies are killing me. You see, oh my God, I feel like crap. But it's early. A few other family members are here this time around, so I'm gonna go meet them. They're somewhere already exploring the city, so I gotta go get them. All right, we made it to Grand Central Station. Today, I'm gonna show you how to build this electric skateboard. As you know, electric skateboards are a thing now. They've been a thing for a while. There's the expensive ones, there's the cheap ones, and everything in between. But there's a new breed of electric skateboards. They're off-road, and you got a glimpse of one of them last time I was in New York, and I got to meet Vitaly, which runs the Portable Electric Vehicles channel on YouTube. He built himself this beast of an electric skateboard that supposedly does about 55 miles per hour, which is just insane. So I thought I would show you how I would build one on the cheap, using off-the-shelf parts to keep the build simple. So let's get started.